I don't think a lot of people from the bigger cities sometimes even know about some of the stuff that goes on.
The small rural community of Nordheim in South Texas is what you might call a two-dog town. The oil and gas boom pumping revenue into the rest of the Eagleford Shale had mostly bypassed this sleepy outpost. Mayor Catherine Payne had been hoping Nordheim would share in the spoils.
Well, they've drilled 4 wells and they haven't fracked them yet, so hopefully the city citizens and the city will get some money and enjoy the good times.
Now the boom has landed on their doorstep.
I was looking at our local newspaper, and it's in the advertising section, which I usually do not look at, and I'm reading it, and I did say, "Holy hell, what is this?" And then I said some other things.
It was the first time the mayor had heard about plans to create a 200-acre waste facility just outside the city limits. When it's finished, the plant will have several open pits, some of them up to 25 feet deep. The facility will be almost as big as the town itself.
I don't want it there. I think it's too close. I have 307 people here, and I think it's too close to a town.
Nordheim School is less than a mile from the waste site.
The school is one of the biggest things, it is the biggest employer in town, and it is something that the community is very proud of.
Its 180 students are on summer vacation, so Superintendent Kevin Wilson takes us to check out the new neighbour.
If you go straight down this road, we'll go to the highway and take a left.
It's a short ride to the site that, once approved, will accept drilling and fracking waste trucked in from a 100-mile radius. The toxic sludge will be dumped in open-air pits to evaporate.
And I believe you'll see where all of the orange stuff is right up here.
Until now, the industry's biggest impact on the town had been the 18-wheelers ripping up the roads. The pits are a new concern.
A lot of people are worried about the water and about the smell, and then of course of what's going up into the air.
Fracking and drilling waste contains chemicals like benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene and xylene. But because of actions Congress took in the 80s, the nation's top environmental regulator, the EPA, can't classify the waste as hazardous. Yet even short-term exposure to these chemicals can trigger headaches, dizziness and drowsiness. Long-term exposure to benzene can cause cancer.
In the old Texas way of saying it, it's just not very neighborly.
Nordheim's mild climate means that children can be outside almost all year round. And that makes Kevin Wilson nervous.
If you have kids, would you want your kids going to school here? There is a lot of open country in this area. I just kind of wonder why there couldn't have been a place that was a little further removed from a town or a community to place this.
The company building the Pyote facility, Petro Waste Environment, says the location was chosen because of its proximity to drilling sites. The CEO says the community has nothing to worry about.
By definition, the waste falls under a category defined by the EPA as anything that comes out of the drilling and production process is non-hazardous. Most of what we're dealing with here is dirt.
Really? I mean, prove it. You say you can't prove that there's a health risk for, say, 50 years until you track it, but you're going to tell me there's not a health risk. Well, prove it. If it's that easy, prove it.
I want to be able to be assured that the EPA and the TCEQ, the Railroad Commission, will constantly, regulate it if it is put in.
So you're confident that those bodies have tough enough regulations in place that if they put them out there, you will know that you're safe?
Well, I don't know if I'm that confident that they'll do it, but I want, if it goes in, I'm going to be on them.
From my standpoint, I obviously think we're fighting an uphill battle. I think historically the Railroad Commission has kind of backed big oil. We're probably 3 hours from Austin, which is where all of the congressmen and legislatures and Railroad Commission resides. So I think it's going to be an uphill battle. But at the same time, you know, it's just not something we're willing to just lay down and say, oh well, you know, our tough luck.